The #1 selling product of its kind with over 20 years of research and innovation. Botox Cosmetic, onabotulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
Streaming December 12th on Peacock. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie are back.
That's hot. Loves it.
For a show-stopping reunion that will prove putting on an opera is anything but simple.
We're really good at this.
One thing's for sure, they won't be upstaged.
Good to have you back. Come on, we've got a show to do.
Paris and Nicole, The Encore, a 3-part reunion special, streaming December 12th, only on Peacock.
I said, Bobby, how much is it going to cost for the year? I want to do the upfront deal again, which was he likes, I think.
And you get a discount if you do it.
Yeah, it's not clear when you look at his proposals what the bottom line number is.
But why would you pay him in advance then?
Well, for the reason, in previous years, the earlier years, his billing, I'm kind of a methodical guy. His billing...
Can you just answer my question?
Yeah.
What's in it for you to pay in advance?
This is the plaintiff, Jack Witkowski. He says he prepaid the defendant for landscaping services and then decided he wanted to go in another direction. And the defendant promised to refund his money. The guy returned his money all right, but not all of it. And that's not fair, so he's suing him right now for the $1,560.60 he's owed. This is the defendant, Robert. He says he went behind his back and hired some of his employees to moonlight on his property, doing his mulching. He can't just go around and cut him out of the loop and secretly hire his employees under the table. He returned the louse's money minus the work and his costs and owes the unscrupulous guy zilch. He's accused of shortchanging a client.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Witkowski, you are suing Mr. Robert for $1,560.60 that you say he owes you, most of it for preparing this case against him, $365 that you actually think he owes you, and the rest of it is costs and having to chase him for it. So let's talk about this. What was the relationship between you two? You had hired him to do what?
Well, I've been doing business with Robert, I think, 7 years or so.
Okay, and his job was to do what?
Cut the grass, do spring cleanup, do fall cleanup, which runs approximately mid-May to mid-December.
Okay.
Depending on weather.
And you were very happy with the job that he and his crew were doing?
Yes, I basically know all his workers. I'm making my business to introduce myself to them. And I'm very satisfied with the work that was done. It couldn't be done better. I'm kind of a fussy guy, but the work was basically perfect.
Right. In fact, one of the comments you made in your complaint was, gosh, I kind of wish this didn't happen because I'd really like them to keep doing my lawn.
That's correct.
Right. All right. So what happened here?
Well, I met the defendant here. If I could just refer to
Yeah, you could just refer to him as a defendant. But tell me when things went wrong. In 2022, he comes to you and your custom was to pay him in advance.
For the last 3 years.
Is that everybody's custom? Like, does everybody pay you in advance, sir?
Sometimes people will pay up front, and then I could discount, for prepaying to get things going for the season.
Okay, because it's $2,000.
Money.
It's 2,000 something.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, how big is the yard?
Mr. Witkowski's?
Yeah.
It is probably a half acre.
Okay. All right. So you
more.
pay him in advance, and you actually add a few $100.
Well, I keep pretty decent records. So when I called him up earlier this year, probably towards the end of April, I said, Bobby, how much is it going to cost for the year? I want to do the upfront deal again, which, of course, he likes, I think.
And you get a discount if you do it.
Yeah, it's not clear when you look at his proposals what the bottom line number is. But
why would you pay him in advance then?
Well, for the reason, in previous years, the earlier years, his billing, I'm kind of a methodical guy. His billing.
Can you just answer my question?
Yes.
What's in it for you to pay in advance?
His billing practices were kind of chaotic.
Is there a discount for paying in advance?
I believe so. I don't know that
because
for sure.
otherwise it would make no sense for you to pay in advance, right?
Yeah, well, dealing with his billing process drove me crazy.
But that wasn't my question. That would be the answer to how are his billing processes and how do you feel about them? Okay. My question was why would a person in your shoes pay in advance? The answer is because there's something in it for you, because there's a slight discount, whatever the discount is, right?
Well, part of it's discount, and part of it is it's done and paid for the year. I don't have to do with the bill.
And you don't have to be billed by him because you hate his billing practice. All right.
That's correct.
So now, all right. So you pay in advance, and then you add some money. Tell me about that.
Well, I happen to notice that when I called him, I knew what he had charged in the previous years, which was $2,500 for the previous 2 years. So when he asked me for $2,400 for this year, I'm thinking, that's probably a wrong price. I mean, I just felt that way myself. So when he came to pick up the cash, I gave him the $2,400. We looked each other in the eye. We shook each other's hands. Everything was good. I said, Bobby, just one more thing. I think you've been charging $24 for the previous years. I want to offer you an extra $200 because I think it's worth $2,600 at this point.
Had he been charging $25 for the previous years or $24?
$2,400.
So he charged the same thing he had always charged?
That's what he asked me for this year, yes.
24, and you felt that he should raise his prices?
Yes.
So you raised them for him?
I gave him $200 more.
So you gave him $200 extra. Is that accurate? Did that happen?
Somewhat.
What's different?
Somewhat.
Did he give you $200 extra or didn't he?
The $200 came about. This season would have been more that season would have been more due to the increase in labor.
I'm sorry, you had presented him with a bill for 24 and he paid you 26. Yes or no?
Yes.
All right, so
No. So yes, it would have been 26. He's trying to make it sound like.
Had you presented him with a bill yet, or hadn't you?
No, he called me on the phone and said, "Is it going to be the same?" And again.
And had you said yes, it would be the same.
Dealing with Jack.
Oh my God! I've been warned about the two of you. Now I need you to listen to my question. Had you, in fact, already told him it'll be the same as prior years?
I don't recall saying that.
Well, then you were going there to collect what if you didn't tell him how much? Of course you told him how much. So, yeah, the guy gives you $200 more than what you told him it would be.
Okay.
All right. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the actual subject of the lawsuit. He goes and does a spring cleanup. It's great.
Yes, sir.
Then,
yes, Your Honor.
Then you hire his men. Tell me about that.
Well, one of his men, over the years, became a personal friend of mine. I know his family. I know his daughter. I know his son. They come over for the dinner, my house. I know the family. So he's a friend. He does work for Bobby, but he's also my friend at the same time. And I do pay him. I don't have him work for free, but he is a friend. So I asked, well, I can't do the work myself anymore. I have lung conditions and things. I can't.
What work are we referring to?
Well, mulching the beds.
Okay.
He came, his men cleaned up the beds in the property. So I'm saying, the beds are clean. Let me buy some mulch, which arrived Saturday. I got a hold of Juan and said, Juan, can you come over, get a couple of guys, come over, install my mulch. Now, he's done this in previous years. And I know Juan very well. He knows me, too, in terms of what I want done, how I want done, all of that, what my tools are. He knows the whole routine. So he says, sure, fine, great. Come over. I'll bring probably 4 or 5 guys.
Were all the guys who work for him?
No.
Okay,
no.
go on.
We did the work on a Sunday. Bobby drives by on a Monday, the following Monday, next day. I'm standing in my driveway doing some other work. I see his truck pull up. So I'm at right angles to him, looking at his side window. And I can see him yelling and kind of screaming. I'm a distance, I can't really hear what he's saying, pounding the steering wheel with his hands. I can see the steering wheel going, bouncing. I'm walking towards him and thinking it's going to be a hello, how are you kind of conversation. But he's cursing, he's screaming, but he's looking out the windshield, the front, through his windscreen. So I'm confused. Finally, he turns to me and he starts cursing and screaming at me. And again, it's not intelligible, but it's really bad language. In my early life, being in the Navy and stuff, bad language is, it's not foreign to me, but it's not stuff that I do. And it's not stuff I like. I'm comfortable with somebody cursing at me. I don't really know what it is.
You don't know what he was saying?
Well, no, not at first.
Okay, and later did you find out what he was saying?
Well, yeah, I guess a few minutes in when he kind of lost steam, and I stood there and let him kind of blow out. I said, Bobby, come on, what are you talking about? What's the story? Points to the mulch. He said, you did your own mulch. And, you're stealing my business, you're ruining my business, things along that business.
Wait, but all he was mad at is that you did your own mulch?
He was mad at that, and then he got on to, and you're using my...
How did he know if they weren't on your property at the time?
I don't know.
So somehow he found out.
That's correct.
And so he got mad at you for using his employees and cutting him out of the deal.
Right.
Because you're paying them directly, and of course you're not paying his overhead. And so then what did he say? I won't work for you anymore.
Well, yeah, I again, waited until we blow out a little more steam. And I said, first of all, Bobby, you're referring to them as they belong to you. Because you kept saying these men belong to me. I said, you can read that a couple of ways, but I found that offensive. So I said, Bobby, they don't actually belong to you. What they do on a Sunday, their day off, that's their business. And for me doing my mulch, I've been doing it for 38 years myself. Sometimes using
He's never done your mulch.
Well, one time about 6 years ago, but it was a disaster.
Okay.
It turned out to be very expensive, and I had weeds all over the place within a month. So that was like not
So,
to be
Mr.
repeated.
Robert, you tell me, what had you gotten wind of and how?
Okay, just to go back to...
Don't go back, go forward.
So Monday morning, I drive up to the yard, and there's my men pulling
Oh, they're still there.
Huh?
They're still there.
No, they're arriving for work on a Monday morning.
So this didn't happen. They didn't do the work on a Sunday like he says. He says it was a Sunday. You're saying no, it was a day.
No, apparently it was a Sunday. But Monday morning, they were unloading my tools from their truck.
Okay.
So all my...
Are they supposed to have
No.
your tools on their truck?
No.
So are you supposed to be there at the time that you were there watching them unload your tools from their truck?
We're arriving for work to start the day on Monday morning.
So they weren't hiding it?
They may have been, but I drove up, and maybe they didn't expect me to get there as early.
That's why I was asking if you normally get there that early. You're there and you see it.
Yes.
And what do you say?
So I said, what's going on here with my tools? And kind of got the silent treatment. Nobody said anything. And
how's nobody going to say anything to the boss?
That's how it went down. So I finally got word from one of the men that they did a job. I said, where was the job? And they said, Jack's house. So,
Did you fire them?
So.
Did you fire them?
No, I didn't.
Did you light into them?
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you tell them?
Well, I told them how first of all, you don't use my tools. You don't use my tools for my customers. And this better not happen again.
And how did they respond?
Okay. I get it.
Was it somebody who, like the people who did that, there were 2 or 3 of them? How many of them were there? That had gone to his site to work?
I'm not exactly sure, but I think like 3.
And so you just saw the one who had used, is it a company truck or his own truck?
Well, he had his own truck with my tools.
With your tools
in
on
his
it.
truck.
But that person didn't get fired because of whatever reason, because it's hard to find somebody.
Right.
Whatever the answer is.
Yeah.
So, wow, were they apologetic? What did they, what excuse did they give?
I wasn't too happy. Yeah, I could say the way I put it.
Was there a financial consequence to them?
No.
All right.
No. But
So-
then I took a ride to Jack's house.
And you took a ride to Jack's house. Tell me how it goes at Jack's house.
So I pull up to Jack's house, and Jack's standing outside, and I said, so, "Hey, Jack, so you did the mulch over here. It looks pretty good. Looks nice. Who did it?" And he goes, "Oh, I some friends did it. I found some guys." I go, "Well, who were the guys?" And he wouldn't answer. He said he got some guys off the street. Or I said, "Well, did those guys use my equipment to do your mulch?" And Jack says, "No." I go, "Well, that's kind of funny, Jack, because my guys said they used my tools to do your mulch." And he tried to deny it a couple more, and then he comes back with the old, you don't own them," which I also told him because there's other things were done at his home, a walkway, which they use my tools, my $450 blade and demo saw they used. And
Why are they using your tools to do their own jobs that are theirs?
I guess, I don't know if Jack says, "Come on over." But
Yeah, but that's their decision about what tools they're going to use. He doesn't say, "Hey, raid your boss's tools." I mean, it's your employees who are doing that. Right? And if there's no consequence to them, they're going to keep doing that.
Well, now, it's never happened before.
Right, but how'd you find out about the saw and stuff?
Well, I assumed because I saw the walkway, and I assumed so they can't do the walkway without my tools, and they don't have.
Did you ever talk to them about that?
Tools. I talked to Jack about it.
Why Jack? Why don't you talk to the person who stole your tool and used it in order to make money off of it from Jack? You see what I'm saying? It's a rhetorical question. I know why. Because if you fire him, you can't find a replacement in this labor market. I know why. I'm just saying one of the things you did was charge Jack $300 for renting your tools, right?
Yes.
Right. But there's no contract where he says, "Hey, I'll pay you $300 to rent your tools," is there? You want me to charge him because somebody else, a third party, your employee who you did not fire, took your tools in order to do a side job.
So, you want to be a marketer. It's easy. You just have to score a ton of leads and figure out a way to turn them all into customers. Plus, manage a dozen channels, write a million blogs, and launch 100 campaigns all at once. When that's done, simply make your socials go viral and bring in record profits. No sweat. Okay, fine. It's a lot of sweat. But with HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools, launching benchmark-breaking campaigns is easier than ever. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Is it time to reimagine your future? The right business skills may make a difference in your career. At Capella University, we offer a relevant education that's designed to focus on what you need to know in the business world. We'll teach professional skills to help you pursue your goals, like business management, strategic planning, and effective communication. And you can apply these skills right away. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
Jack benefited from my tools.
He did, but Jack paid your employee for the job. Jack did. It wasn't like, Jack made a deal with your employees. Listen, you fired Jack as a client, and you have every right to do that because it just didn't pass the smell test for you, and that's fine. But what Jack did with those people was hire them to do a job. You don't even mind that he hires them to do jobs that you don't do, like the walkway.
No, I do the walkway.
Oh, you do the walkway.
See, that's why I wanted to clarify.
Oh, that's even worse.
So
and you still didn't fire those guys.
Jack would hire my men to do things like in his basement, he needed painting. And he came to me years ago, and the agreement was, he said, "Do you mind if I need something done, I can use you guys?" I said, "Yes, as long as it's nothing that
you do.
I do."
But you do walkways, and you do lawn, and you do mulching. Right, okay.
Jack knows how to, he's a conniver. Okay. Jack knows, hey, just come on over, grab some tools, and that's Jack.
Okay, no, hold on, stop. I guarantee to you that Jack's like, hey, you want to do this? Because he can pay them less than you. But I don't think you have any cause to say, and grab the guy's tools. The people who got hired for the job made their own decision. Now, according to you, they didn't bring any tools.
Your Honor, you have this photo at the back of the packet?
Yes. According to you, they didn't use his tools.
No. My photos show that I've been doing this for 38 years. I have a complete set of tools for doing this job.
What are the tools required for doing the job?
Well, I use 2 wheelbarrows. One is one of those humongous big, which is made mainly for moving mulch and that kind of equipment, 10 cubic foot, big job. It's in the photos. I have a contractor wheelbarrow also, which I can use. I have a backpack blower. I have rakes, shovels, spreaders, all of the tools that you need to do that job.
So when they did the job, did you see them bring anybody else's tools?
No.
All right. So you say he's lying about how he found out they came.
I don't know anything about that part of the story.
Wait, you don't know anything about that, so they may have brought their own tools as well. Well, by their own tools, I mean his own tools. Either way, let me explain to you that my job here in court is to enforce contracts. And that means that I have to sit there and say, okay, what was the agreement? Did he ever agree to pay rent for your tools? He says your tools weren't even there. If they were, I don't think he's the one making that decision, my friend, and I don't think you have any evidence of that. If the tools are there, it's because your employees are little thieves who take the tools behind your back and then got caught at it, and you still didn't fire them because you can't. And they know that, and that's why it's going to happen again. So I suggest you lock your tools. And so that they don't have access to it. But that may be administratively difficult for you then in getting them out every day and doing the jobs you are living off of and making money. So that's your decision on how you do it. But you don't have evidence to suggest that when they're sitting around doing side jobs behind your back, that it's the person who hires him who says, oh, go and take Robert's tools. No, it's them. They decided to take your tools. So you make the decision that you're going to give him back his money because you're so mad at him you don't want to do any work on give him back the unused portion of his prepay because you're so mad at him that you don't want anything to do with him anymore. And you're trying to talk him out of it, right? You're like, wait, don't do that because you really like the job they do.
Yes. After that initial car visit, I walked in the house and I said, let me wait. I don't have to do anything. They're not going to cut grass till the following Monday. So I said to myself, he'll cool off. He'll rethink it. Doesn't make sense what he's saying. He'll calm down. He'll make sense out of it. So Monday rolls along. The guys come. Again, I know all of his guys. He does a neighbor's property, but I know when they pull up. So I said, what's going on? He said, we were told not to cut your grass anymore, not to go on your property, whatever. So at that point...
Who tells you that? Juan or somebody else?
No.
Okay.
The lead worker on that crew.
Right.
That came.
We were told not to. So now you realize he has not calmed down. He meant it when he said.
Yeah, at that point, I know the deal is dead.
All right, you returned money to him. How much money did you return to him?
I returned $1,850.
So what did you withhold?
$450 for the spring cleanup.
We'll talk about that in a moment.
And $300 for my tool rental fee. What about fuel surge?
I don't care. You can go collect this from the people who you don't even, who you absolutely don't, who have no consequence when they steal your tools. Go take it up with the stealers. I am not going to order him to pay the $300. Let's talk about the spring cleaning because he agrees that, that you did the spring cleaning. But according to you, the spring cleaning is how much?
$385.
Okay.
I based that on his proposals from the previous 2 years that show $385 as the value of the spring
Did he give you a proposal for this year?
No, he did not.
Okay, so he just said to you it'll be the same thing. Then according to you, you add $200. Do you have any evidence that spring cleanup is $450 instead of $385? This is what we're down to.
Do I have evidence?
Yeah, like in other words,
yes.
Bills from other people.
As we all know, that 2000, what are we into? That was 21.
What's 21?
When this happened. Or was it? Yeah, that was
2022.
Okay. 21. 22. Oh, 22.
Okay.
Anyway, increased labor, increased fuel.
Okay, no. What I'm asking you is I can't have you, if you tell a guy it'll be the same as last year.
No, I didn't. I never said that. And here's the deal with Jack is whenever you send him a contract, there's always a question. He called me up. And years ago, I don't want anything. Just tell me what's going on. You and I will agree to it, and that's that. So
I don't know what of what you said means. So you never had a contract or an invoice?
He wouldn't. He just refused.
I'm sorry. He says he has invoices from prior years. Is he lying?
Well, that might have been
proposals, Your Honor.
Proposals. Let me see the proposals from prior years. The most current one you have.
Okay, sure. 1 second. It's going to be under tab F. You have it there, or I can give you this copy. This is from 2020, 2021.
Which is the prior?
Page 3.
Which is the prior year, right?
This is 2020, 2021.
Right. And the year in question that the lawsuit is about is 2020. No, this is 2 years.
2022, this year.
Right. It would have been 2022, 2023, right? So this is 2 years ago. The 385. That's the most current you have. Do you have any bills? Maybe you have it computerized, and you might have it in your phone. Bills that you've sent out to other people with the the proposals that show for something.
I don't have that with me now. But just to say, if that was, what are we here, 2020, he said?
He said 2020, 2021.
Okay, so how many years ago was that? So again, increased fuel, labor, dumping fees, everything went up. So 380 minus 450 is what, another?
All right, so let's talk about what you're suing for. You're suing for whatever he withheld beyond what you think he should have withheld. You say he should have only withheld 385 for spring cleanup, and your proof of that is what he billed in 2020 for spring cleanup.
Well,
because you don't have any other proposals that are more current. That's one. The next thing you're suing for is your time spent getting the refund. You are billing at $80 an hour, 6.5 hours. Is that correct?
No, Your Honor. It's 10 hours before I appeared in court, and I'm considering 4 hours for time spent in court.
Okay. So it's 6.5 hours time getting the refund, and then 4 hours, so 10.5 hours, for preparing for court.
Yes, close enough.
And then another 4 hours for being in court.
Correct.
So you've turned a $300 and something case into 5 times as much as it is by doing that.
Correct. I didn't turn it into that.
See, your remedy is to win in court, and most times, and you folks are a perfect example of this, it's about the principle and not the money. And that's why people come in front of me, because like a sound business decision would be, and just, pay it or accept it or just move on because your time is more valuable than that. But this is really about the principle for both of you. And so if it's about the principle, let it be about the principle. How is it that you tack onto that principle a bunch of, and my time is worth, if you were a brain surgeon, would you get, $10,000 an hour? Like, how do we calculate that? How is your time is worth $80 and the other person's time is worth what? These are not compensable expenses. You're certainly entitled to your filing fee if you win, and you're going to win something, because I do believe that charging you rental of tools that his employees may or may not have stolen from him for use is something he should be taking up with those employees and not with you. So you're definitely going to get your filing fee back. But where does paying you for your time and preparing? How would courts handle that throughout the country?
I never went to court, Your Honor, and I'm happy that's so. But,
all right.
First off, I think that 385 aspect is pretty clear from the.
It's not clear. You have a bill from 2020. Do you have the bill from? Do you have him saying, "I'm charging you the same as last year"? He's actually quibbling with you on that as well. Do you have a text or something, or an email where he says the bill will be the same as last year? Yeah.
Basically, yes, Your Honor, yes.
Can I see that?
In a manner of speaking.
No, not in a manner of speaking. Well, it's either a yes or a no.
Yes.
It's not like a little bit pregnant.
Yes.
Right. So show me the email or the text where he says that in writing.
Well, I'm sorry. The $2,400 was an agreement.
I don't want you to repeat what you've already said.
Okay.
I want you to listen to my question.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
He is saying that he goes over there and you say, how's 26? And he says, that's going to be great. Yeah. You are saying, I magnanimously added 200 to the bill because he had already told me that it would be the very same and nothing's gone up. That's what he's quibbling with. He says he never told you that, that's not how it worked, that he accepted the 26.
Yes.
Okay, so all I need from you is something that proves that he said it'll be the same as last year. Do you have anything in writing? Because did you agree that it would be the same as last year?
No.
All right. Right. So do you have any of that in writing, like a proposal or anything? How about just last year's proposal? Do you have that?
I have that.
No, you don't. You have the year before that.
I have both.
Oh, well, why'd you hand me 2 years ago instead of handing me last year?
I think you have it, probably, Judge. Here's both of them. This is my copy.
Okay, so this would be last year's, so it's going to be 21, 22.
20, in 2020, 2021.
Okay, 2020, 21.
That's right.
Right?
That's correct.
And then he comes back when? What's the next year after 20 to 2021?
2022.
2021, 2022?
Those proposals are from 2020 and 2021.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
The verbal agreement where there was
no stop, don't keep talking.
Okay, you're right.
On February of 2021, that proposal would take you, I'm talking to you now, Mr. Robert. February of 2021 would take you through when? A proposal that you sent him on February of 2021. Because you say, I don't send proposals, but that's not true.
It was the 21 season.
To when?
February of, well,
February
that was the
of
date
2020.
of the contract.
Listen to my question. February 17, 2021, you send him a proposal.
Yes.
That proposal then would cover work going until when? Till the winter of 2021.
December of 2021.
All right. So what is missing then is the February 2022 proposal, right?
Yes.
Which would take us to now. And that's the contract we're talking about.
Yes.
All right, I got it. So this is last year's contract, right?
No. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Proposal.
Stop. Proposal. Don't talk. Okay. In last year's, you charged $385 for the. So basically, you've got nothing that itemizes what the charge is, but you want me to pick your figure, right?
This
the 450.
year?
Yeah.
Basically.
Why don't you just have your clients sign contracts?
No, every client signs a contract.
Then don't work with him if he won't sign a contract.
Jack specifically, and you have to know Jack. He's.
I don't. I have to know you.
A unique indivical.
Right,
Jack
but if you don't want to do business with him, don't. But his money's green enough for you all these other years,
well,
and then
exactly.
Right, and if you don't, if especially if someone's a unique individual and is a schmoozer conniver, then that's the guy who you want to have something clear with. So if he won't sign it, then you send it to him like you did all the other years where you have a proposal, right?
But and he called me specifically, said, do not mail me anything, don't send anything. This is the agreement, this is what we're going to do.
And what was the agreement he said you do? What was the agreement? He said,
I'm going to add an extra $200 because labor went up, fuel went up, everything went up, and that was it. Which means that the reason the spring cleanup is
How much longer do you guys want to argue about $65?
I didn't want to do it
We've just
anyway.
spent literally the last 10 minutes arguing about $65. You know that, right? It was a test. I wanted to see which of you would just say, oh, for God's sake, just go ahead, Judge, I'll do whatever you say.
Oh, for God's sake, Judge,
Neither one
just
of you.
do.
Neither one. We would be here until we all were expired. Just skeletons with dust. We would all be here. Hopefully you would have walked out. Who are you? Right. Hopefully you would have walked out because she said, you're on your own, Judge, and walked out before then for the love of all that is holy. Hold on, gentlemen.
Walk out, Jack.
Okay.
Can I have a claim to read all the paperwork that he spent me because he's billing?
Oh, you think I'm really going to make you pay him?
He's billing me to write it?
Are you out of your mind? I'm not going to make you pay him for all. And believe me, there was plenty.
It was painful.
There was plenty. There may not be $1,200 worth, but
the reading of it was painful.
Yeah, you want to be paid for reading it.
I want to be compensated.
He never saw this paperwork.
I've decided that you are entitled to the $450 for the cleanup. If everyone's going to work without paperwork, then I'm going to kind of decide what the right figure is. And when I'm deciding what the right figure is, I kind of take into account all of the facts of the case. You are not entitled to charge him for rental for the equipment. We've been over that. I'm not going to order him to pay you for your time preparing in court. Anybody has access to the courts in America. That is one of our rights. And, your remedy is to win, really. But you don't get, like a professional fee for getting access to the courts. I am ordering him to pay you back the $300 that he withheld. Wait, hold on. Let's look at this the other way, because otherwise I'll get my math wrong. You paid him $1,850.
Yes.
Yeah. I am ordering him to pay you an additional $300, and I am allowing him to keep the $450 that he kept for the spring cleanup. I'm also ordering you, of course, to pay his court costs, and that is my verdict. Good luck, folks.
So the plaintiff prevails. He certainly doesn't get the $1,500 that he was seeking, but in any event, he does prevail. So let's see what Robert has to say about this. He's the defendant. Robert, what's your reaction to the judge's verdict?
It's fair. The way things went down, Jack is a little conniving, I know his antics, if that is so. I guess.
Well, you're just upset he used your guys, but in any event, you can't charge him rental for your tools. Apparently, he didn't even use your tools at all.
Right, but
so
Jack knew they were using my tools. He knew.
Well, look, bottom line, you've lost a customer. He was a good customer for a long time, right?
No, I don't need it. I don't work for people like that.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, that's what the judge has decided. You're going to have to live with. Thank you very much. Okay? All right, so let's talk to the plaintiff now. Mr. Butowski's on his way out of the courtroom. I guess the big issue here, sir, is number one, have you gotten anybody yet to be able to, do your yard for you? That's the important thing.
Well, there's probably 100 landscape guys in my community. I actually hired a guy the next day after it was clear that Bobby wasn't going to do the work. So that's not a problem.
Yeah, okay, very good. You were very crafty in how you figured out how much money you thought you should get back, but the judge saw through that. You're only going to get the rental fee back. You okay with that?
Well, not really. I respect the judge's opinion, of course. But on the other hand, I believe that Bobby deliberately delayed, obfuscated, sent me phony bills that were clearly just wrong. And he didn't do what he should have done. He could have done it right off the bat, paid me the money. We went our separate ways, end of story. But he decided to stretch this thing out, to make it painful, to delay, send me fake bills, and just deny all the letters that I wrote that were clearly written, pointing out exactly why I thought I should get what I should have got. He ignored all of that. He never communicated with me to deal with this issue, like a man would do, like a gentleman would do.
All righty. Well, listen, it's over now, and you've prevailed, so congratulations.
Hardly, but thank you.
All right. Okay, very good. All right. Harvey?
Well, Doug, just so you know, you almost never get money for appearing in court. The only exception to that really is if you hire an expert witness, then the expert could get money for his time. Otherwise, even if you're in the right, you just cannot get money for time off for appearing in court.
Who is more unlikely to talk to a stranger?
More unlikely to talk to a stranger. I know you want to say that I am more unlikely, but I talk to strangers all the time.
Well, we both do, but who's more unlikely?
When we have lunch or dinner somewhere, don't I always try to find out the entire life story of the waiter or waitress that's waiting?
Yeah, no, that's super annoying. I think that's just stop asking them so many questions.
Really? Who does it annoy?
It annoys me.
Really?
And I feel like they're trying to work, and so you do. For some reason, you are really friendly then. But normally speaking, who's more likely to strike up a conversation with the person next to them? You or me?
You think you are?
Oh, what, you think you are? Seriously?
Yeah. Well, it depends. First of all, no one ever recognizes me by my appearance or my voice.
No, that's not true. They do.
Almost never. But you get recognized. And so, there's strangers walk up to you. So.
Yeah, but which of us is more likely to just strike up a conversation?
Normally, probably you.
Right.
Yeah.
But you think that I'm less likely to be... Who's friendlier, you or me?
Oh, I'm going to say I am.
You're nicer. I don't think you're friendly.
Okay, you're meaner, but you're friendlier.
But I'm friendlier.
Okay, I can live with that.
Yeah,
Nicer,
I think we have distilled
meaner, friendlier.
Distilled it to its exact nature. Yeah. I am friendlier than you are, but you are much nicer than I am.
Okay, I'll take that.
Okay.
That's it for this session of the People's Court. We will see you next time.